What is up? It's your boy Dude God, and I just finished doing the other what if. So I'm doing a new what if because why not at this point, you know? uh, and it's gonna be what if Deku was Sans, and I know. I've seen a good bit of people do this one, you know. I tried to do what ifs that people haven't really done, or like one of my favorite, or like my favorite ones on the characters, and this is one of the situations where it's one of my favorite characters. So yeah, um, and for the record, like, all right, no, never mind, never mind. Let me just start off the story. Deku, like the world is practically the same. Like there's nothing really different about it. So Inko gives birth to Deku, and he looks like this, or a baby version of the picture you see right now. Like he has pale white skin and white hair. Uh, one of his eyes are like the only difference, like face wise, like both of his eyes are like the darker grayish color. It's like a darker grayish color. That eye, when the eye turns blue, that's when he's older, or like, well, not older, but like when he gets using his quirk or something like that. But like his default look, like both of his eyes are like that grayish color. So yeah, and Deku is kind of born weak. Like he's born like somewhat prematurely, so he's naturally going to be a weak person, and by that I mean he's going to be weak in almost any category physically, and he's going to be pretty lazy too. But we're gonna get into that later. So gonna go on a few years, and we're gonna stop off at kinder. No, not kindergarten. Well, I think it was kindergarten. Whatever. When they five, uh, they go to the quirk doctor and try to figure out what Deku's quirk is, and see if he has a quirk, and not see which quirk he has. See if he has a quirk, and he does. They don't know what to call it, but let's just say he's not gonna have all of the abilities of Sans. Like he's just gonna have, like, he's gonna be able to control bones a little bit, like in small, like little, like telekinesis. It's kind of like Inko's quirk. Like that's what the doctor said. Doctor says it's kind of like your quirk, but he got a little extra stuff. Like he can manipulate bones and stuff, and he can control like how much there is. And the doctors tell Deku to use his bones, and Deku accidentally, like, his eye changes color, like whenever his it changes blue, and he hits him with a blue bone, and it just like phases. He accidentally hits the doctor with the blue bone, and it just phases through him. But the doctor feel all of his, like, the doctor didn't really, like, it's not Doctor Uchiko. Like that's to say, it's not him. It's another doctor. So the other doctors, he didn't really do much, but he feel like all of his quote unquote sins crawling on his back, and his like it's basically all the karma. So it stings a little bit. So yeah. So basically, with the karma thing, it is. So once you get hit with it, the more evil you do, the more damage it does. So basically, say if he hits someone, say if he accidentally hits someone as innocent as just an innocent kid, it won't do anything. But if it hits someone like, I don't know, muscular or all for one, it's gonna hurt a lot. It's gonna hurt a lot. Like it's gonna suck for them. Honestly, it really is. It's gonna hurt a lot. So, all right, moving on. Uh, And the doctor was trying to think of a name for the quirk, and it and it's he was trying to think, but he couldn't think of one. And then Deku said, and then Deku was he was like he was resting on Inko, he was resting, and then he mumbled Vania, and then the doctor was trying to hear what he said. He was like, "What?" And then Deku was like, "Megalovania. That's my quirk." And then doctor was like, "Oh, okay. That's probably like special to his quirk." And Inko, was like, "So his quirk is gonna be called Megalovania." And so yeah, that's what his quirk's gonna be called, Megalovania. Yes, yes. That's the perfect name for his quirk at this point, because I mean look at that, man. You can't tell me what would you name his no, this quirk is Megalovania. That's perfect sense right there. Alright. Anyway, so he goes back to school and he tells them about his quirk, that he can manipulate bones, like he can sprout bones out from the ground and stuff and control them, and he has telekinesis. He also has like a karma ability, but he doesn't explain the karma ability. He doesn't say anything about the karma ability, and he also has the Gaster Blaster, but he hasn't unlocked that one yet. Let's just say he hasn't unlocked that ability yet. He has it, but he don't know how to activate it, and he don't even know about it yet. So, gonna wait for that. And so, Bakugo, he was like, "Oh wow, you have a pretty cool quirk, but my quirk is way better than yours." And Deku, he was like, yeah, you probably, but I bet I'd win in a fight. And Bakugo kind of took that as a challenge. They got a little tussle. Bakugo won. Bakugo, like, they didn't really use their quirks that much. Deku used his quirk a little bit, and his telekinesis wasn't strong enough to pick up Bakugo yet. But, Bakugo was he just beat it. Like, the teachers had to, separate him, because at first you'd think Deku would win, but then you realize he's physically weak in every way. So, yeah. He can't hit hard. He's frail, and he's not that fast yet. Anyway. Oh, and I completely forgot about the shortcuts, which is basically teleportation. Um, he'll get access to that later. Like, he'll get access to it, but it's kind of a struggle. Like, he kind of gotta get it filled for it. But after the fight, you know, Deku goes to the hospital because again he's frail, so kind of gotta watch out for that. And so they say he's okay. You just gotta make sure he doesn't do anything like fighting anyone because he's frail and all that. And so, we're gonna wait on time skip a few years. Uh, Nothing important really happened during the time between you know that fight, the hospital trip, and nothing extremely, like, nothing important really happened. The only real thing is Deku was training his quirk, making it stronger and stuff. So, the teacher comes in, you know, it's the end of middle school. Teacher comes in with a bunch of papers, and it's like, these papers are for y'all careers, what y'all want to do in y'all life. But he just, as always, again, like I said, he just chucks them up, and he's like, I know what y'all all want to do. Y'all all want to be heroes, and they all, the kids kind of start a mini riot. It's just like, yeah, we're gonna be heroes and all that. And the teacher's like, calm down, no using your quirks in school or using your quirks in general, because that's not allowed apparently, which is stupid in my opinion. But anyway, Bakugo was like, "Don't let me around with these losers, man. They suck compared to me. I am bar none the best, no question. No one could ever be able to touch me ever." And and then the teacher was like, oh yeah, Bakugo, you you did pass all the tests to go to UA, you know. And then he realized, oh yeah, Midoriya made it there too. And Bakugo looked back, it's like, this weakling? And at this point, I mean, he's right. He is weak. And, that dude's sleeping. He's having a great he's having a good time. And when he heard his name, he kind of woke up. He's groggy. He's like, what is it? And then he's like, oh yeah, I'm joining UA, you know. And he kind of tries to go back to sleep, but it's hard to go to sleep when Bakugo's in your class because all he does is scream. So yeah, and Bakugo tells Deku to drop out of UA, and Deku's trying his best to ignore him, but again, it's Bakugo, so he grabbed his book because Deku, he still keeps his notes on heroes and all that. He like he's the type of person that he still does it, but he's lazy about it. So he's like when new hero shows up, he's like a new one, a new hero. I wonder if his quirk good, and he writes down. He's like like he it's like he don't want to do it, but he wants to at the same time. Like he don't have to, but he wants to. But his lazy nature is just like ugh. So yeah. And then Bakugo was about to explode the notebook, and Deku, his eyes shined blue. He said, "If you don't put that book down, you're gonna have a bad time." And so, oh my god. So, Bakugo kind of got a chill from that, and Bakugo just chucked it. And he was like, "Whatever," and then they left and all that. And so it's the end of school, and Deku just, he's walking around, he's walking, he's gonna take a shortcut. Not his shortcut, but a shortcut. There's gonna be a difference. He's not gonna teleport. He's just gonna take, because he needs to think about stuff, And normally he just take a shortcut to his house, but he on this day specifically because the plot, we could, he just feels like going out, and yeah, he goes under a bridge, and a wild sludge villain appears, and and then he says, "Oh man, this kid looks so weak and scrawny," and he was like, "Beggars can't be choosers." And then he appeared, and he's like, "Hey kid, give me your body." And Deku kind of just looked at him, and he's like, no." And then the skeleton, the sludge villain tried to attack Deku, but Deku dodged him. But he got caught because sludge. And so Deku's panicking because he feels the sludge going inside of him. The sludge villain trying to take over, and he's thinking he wants to get away. He wants to stop this from happening. He is determined to make sure that this doesn't happen. And so a Gaster Blaster appears and blasts the ever-loving shit out of the sludge villain. And when I say it hurts him. And he didn't know why it hurts. And you know, after the fact, the sludge villain he's a little puddle now, and he just tried to scurry off. And Deku had a little, he had a little jar, and he just scooped him up. He just wrapped him in a jar, I guess, and and all of that. And Deku just was like, huh, looks like it. I don't want to say it, but oh my god. Alright. And Deku said, huh, looks like you're in a jar. I mean, looks looks like you're in a jar. Looks like you're in a pickle, aren't you? And honestly, it either way that joke was terrible and I apologize. Don't expect many of those puns coming out of me. Please don't. I can't. That alone made me cringe. I can't do that. All right, so and then after that, cringe. All Might appeared, and he's like, "Have no fear, for I am here." And Deku's like, "Oh, All Might, how's it going? How's it hanging?" You know, and Deku was like, and All Might was like, Where'd the solar drilling go?" And Deku was like, "Oh, I put him in this jar. Yeah, he tried to take my body, but nobody takes my body." And then All Might was like, "Oh, okay." And he took it, and he was like, "So, All Might, mind if I get?" And he already signed it, and he's like, "Whoa, that was fast." And then All Might asked, "What's his quirk?" And keep in mind, I didn't mention this because I didn't, but the Gaster Blaster is still there. Like it hadn't went away yet. And so, All Might asked, "What's his quirk?" Because he noticed the like. Wait, hold on. He note like. All right, yeah. So he notices the Gaster Blaster here, and it's floating around Deku, and All Might's like, "So that's your quirk?" And Deku explains, "Actually, yes, it's a part of my quirk, I guess. This is new." And Deku said his quirk is called Megalovania, and it basically allows him to manipulate bones, get telekinesis, which has grew stronger over time. And and he mentions the karma thing, and then he has karma bone, and All Might was curious, like, the karma, what's up with that? And Deku explains, well, Mr. Might, Mr. All Might, sir, karma is basically when I hit you with this bone, this basically like well, it's not invisible, but intangible bone. It don't do damage, but it does do damage. It does damage um, relatively to what you've done, the sins you committed. So basically, say if I hit you with it, it probably won't do anything. But say if I had a criminal who's a murderer who murdered hundreds of people, it would really hurt them like extremely bad. So yeah. So yeah. So yeah. He was yeah, and All Might was like, "Huh, it's pretty interesting." He explains the karma and what it does and all that. And Deku just looks and he's like, cause he throws a bone at All Might, and All Might, he's still keeping face, but in his mind he's like, "Ow," because All Might, tried to kill someone, but he didn't. He thought he did. That's why he stung a little bit, you know. And Deku was like, so it didn't work. All right. And so, Deku asks, though All Might says, "Oh crap, my time limit," and then, he jumped, and Deku, had to ask a question. So he just, he was like, "Wait, All Might," and then he just jumped on All Might. And All Might's like, "Kid, it's probably not the smartest idea to do that." Yeah, and Deku's like, "Yeah, probably, but I got questions." And All Might kind of debuffs, and he's like, "Shit!" And then they land, he debuffs, and he's like, Deku's like, "Whoa!" I thought I was the skeleton, and All Might was like, "Ugh." gross. And he was like, just no. And and Deku was like, "Are you really All Might?" And All Might's like, "Yeah, it's just, I have injury, I have a time limit, and it's a struggle. It's a struggle, kid. It's a struggle." And Deku was like, "Understandable, you know." And Deku asked, "Can I be a hero being as frail as I am?" Because, he explains to All Might that he's extremely weak and frail. And All Might said, "You could be a hero, potentially, but you should probably be careful. And, they was like, alright. And, All Might left. And, there's an explosion. So, yeah, the sludge villain got away. And, this time, and you know the drill. You already caught Bakugo and all that. The heroes can't do shit because, well, they sucked. The heroes that were there was useless. They sucked, and Deku knew that. So he was like, "Well, wait, why y'all not doing anything?" And he noticed All Might, and Deku knows that the time limit. So he was like, "Crap." So he's saying the hero, "Why they not doing anything?" And it's like they can't. So Deku kind of get pissed off at that, threw a bone at one of them, and he was like, "Ow, what was that?" And then Deku just, and Deku wearing that same outfit you see there. Uh, he just casually walks up to the sludge villain, and the sludge villain sees him, and he is scared. He is scared. Like, it's like he has seen death itself. And his eye is glowing, and Deku says to such villain, "Let the kid go. If you don't, you're gonna have a really bad time." And he just has this sadistic smile on his face. He's like, "Ooh," and in his mind, and what the sludge villain thinks Deku's thinking, he's like, "Please don't let him go, so I have an excuse to end you." And the sludge villain, he just crumpled. He starts crying. Yeah, he starts crying, and he just let go of Bakugo. He starts crying, and he's like, "Take me away from this beast." And like they looking at like this kid, he looks like he can barely lift the bound. But he got scared. They arrested him. All Might shows up. He's like, "I am here." And, the Sludge Venom's already, I can't say in chains because he's sludge. So they capture the sludge villain, and you know, after that, it's after that and after that, Deku just you know, All Might tells Deku a good job, but the other heroes, they're like that was dangerous and all that, and Bakugo, they explain Bakugo was a good quirk and all that, and the hero was like that got hit. I think his name is Dead Arms. I just decided it was Dead Arms, and that you shouldn't hit a hero or whatever. And Deku's like, can't be much of a hero if you don't save someone. And then Deku was like, well, gotta go. And like the media was getting to him, was about to go to him, about to ask him some questions, but he was like, nah, I don't do media. I don't do that. Time for me to go. And then All Might was like, wait, kid, and then he just took a random shortcut. He just took a shortcut. He took the shortcut. He took his shortcut. You know what? He teleported. That's what I mean. Yes. And so after a while, he managed to get back to his house. And All Might couldn't find him. All Might was trying to find him, but he couldn't. So, you know, All Might was like, maybe he could be the one. And so, and yeah. You know what? I think that's why I might wrap it up. Could I keep going? Mm, Ooh, decisions. You know what? You know what? No. No. It's early as hell. I'm tired. I'm going to sleep. So this is gonna be the end of this one. Sorry. I should probably make these videos probably longer, but hey, uh, I, I I try to make it at least 30 minutes or something. But hey, uh, if you like this one, don't forget to like and subscribe. And if you want me to continue this, because if you want this to continue, and if you really like this one, I want you to, I want all of you who's gonna watch this to like, subscribe, and all that extra stuff. And if this video gets, I don't know, if this video gets at least 2 likes, maybe 2, 3 likes. Excuse me. If it gets 2 to 3 likes, I will continue it. But if not, uh, 2 to 3 likes max. If it gets that, then you know I'm gonna make more of this one, and and I'm gonna ask the question, what kind of ship do you want for this one? I can't do Momo. Sorry for those who want Momo on this one. I can't do it because I already did it on the last one. So pick someone else. Those. Uh, I'm probably gonna do Jiro. Honestly, I like her. I like her a lot. But she's there. Taco, maybe I don't know. Momo is probably. Momo. I'm not doing Momo. And um, and it not only like it could be from other like classes, not just from class 1A. Like it could be that chick from class 1B. Tendo, her name was Kendo, her name, yeah, her, the one with the giant fist. Yeah, it could be her or someone. I don't know, but yeah. If you like this video, don't forget to like and subscribe, and I'll see y'all in the next one. Peace.